rocketed down to the line. Go Indy, go is starting to sprout wings down the centre. The South Australian Galloper wins it.
Hello and welcome to Racing Review. It was the final day of the BMW Sydney Carnival Game. Another international focus with Hannah's Goal from Japan, or Australian owned Japanese interests there with Hannah's Goal winning the All-Age Stakes, and Chad Schofield on perhaps the best horse he's ever trained, Leon McDonald, in Go Indigo. But Group 1 racing around the country, we'll review that. Big racing from Brisbane also, and a big wrap-up of what happened in Victoria yesterday on the last of the series of Racing Review. Chad Schofield to join us. So too will Michael Crismale, chairman of the Australian Turf Club, looking back on the inaugural championships and where they hope to head with it going forward. Also joining us will be Richard Callender, and as I say, konnichiwa to our new Japanese correspondent, Richard Callender-san.
Yes, got it covered. I've Bankstown TAFE, if you look at interested. Mondays and Tuesday nights, 7 to 8:30. I'll be doing a Japanese course. I won't be there learning. I'll be teaching. Look, what a great BMW carnival it was. A lot of the figures were good all across the board. I thought the crowds were solid. There's a few little jiggles and jaggles. I'm a believer the Sydney Cup should be on the last day of the carnival. I think the All-Age Stakes needs a money injection to boost that race and get the quality of the race up. But overall, I thought the BMW Sydney Carnival was a cracker, and just wish you would have backed more winners.
I'm glad you sorted the carnival out for everyone there, Rich. Mark Sheen, good morning to you, and if you can jiggle and jangle your way through a few other ideas, that'll be good for the carnival.
Yeah, I'm going to look that up, jiggle and jangle. Yeah, it was good to see Hannah's Goal win yesterday. I suppose if you weren't on it, it wasn't that good, but it was good to see the international inclusion of those horses, Gordon Lord Byron. It's just added another dimension to the carnival, hasn't it?
No doubt. It's a new corporate term, Mark, jiggle and jangle. It's corporate speak for...
Hey,
haven't got a clue.
I was talking to Jason Richardson yesterday, of course, who hosted our coverage about the stall gift, and he was telling me about a bloke who had the jiggle and the jaggle.
Well, that's Lycra Shorts does that too.
What did you think of the carnival? What did you think of the day's racing yesterday? It was a tough day for the punters around the country, especially Sydney and Melbourne yesterday. Give us your thoughts. At Racing Review at tvn.com.au.
We've got one email in relation to that I'm going to read later.
I've got to speak very clearly, Richard. And, of course, all the Twitter feeds are there. If you can either get through to us personally or to TVN. TVN is the station address. Plenty of news, and Brent Sarafa's on top of all that with Adrian Dunn filing in from Melbourne. Brent, plenty about this morning, headed off by Zoostar. We'll say good morning to you.
Well, good morning, Bruce. Good morning, everyone. Yes, full steam ahead for Zoostar now. We're heading across to England and speaking with Widden Stud boss Anthony Thompson, who part owns the expensive colt. He said hoping to fly out next Sunday, but still waiting on confirmation for those flights. The Diamond Jubilee's on the 21st of June, so they're going to get hopefully there nice and early, get a good preparation in for the horse. Question mark will be who rides Zoostar when it gets to England. Jim Cassidy is obviously in the mix, being the rider here, but speaking with Anthony, he said once they get to England, they'll discuss how the horse is going and make a decision from there.
Okay, the Diamond Jubilee's the last day of the 5 at Royal Ascot. Hannah's Goal, of course, we saw win yesterday, and her Australian campaign now over?
Well, it appears that way. There was some suggestion she may head to Brisbane or possibly even Singapore. But now, speaking with Ian Mackay from the Championships and Racing New South Wales this morning, he said the update at this stage appears likely for her to head for a spell back in Japan. There's a big quarantine issue there. She has to spend 90 days before she can race again, so likely to just go back and have a big spell.
Of course, that's going to be an issue with the supposed floodgates opening going forward question. Rebel Dane was pretty flat yesterday, and I think all involved with her got the flats after it.
Yeah, well, Gary Portelli said that Rebel Dane will probably just need a good freshen up, won't go to the BTC Cup, will just aim straight towards the Doomben 10,000 now, have a month between runs. He said just may have taken a little bit out of it, that run first up in the TJ Smith, but going forward, hopefully the horse can bounce back.
Snitchland had a tough run in Brisbane yesterday, might affect the campaign.
Yeah, well, Gerard Ryan, he's not pulling the pin on her campaign yet. He wants to get up to Brisbane this week and assess her condition personally before he makes a final decision, but may go to the BTC Cup, may go to the paddock. Gerald will decide in the next couple of days.
What do you mean by she had a hard run?
Up on the speed.
Well, I'm just saying the thing.
But the
winner's was 50 to 1. Worked 3 deep to get around outside it and then beat it. It's not the Stinson we know. Is that what Gerald's saying?
Basically.
Yeah, it's not the because Stinson we know would have just put 3 on them when they turned, and she didn't.
Right. Driefontein won the Group 1 in Adelaide. Just have a look at that shortly too.
Yeah, well, she's going to stick on for the Goodwood in a fortnight, and we saw Platelet do the double last year, winning the Sangster and then beating the boys in the Goodwood. And she'll also be heading there. Nice sprint race in Adelaide. But Gay Waterhouse, her team's flying in down there, and she'll have Order of the Sun heading towards the Derby next week, and hopefully can win another Group 1.
Have a look at Order of the Sun with Chad shortly. Of course, won the St Ledger on Friday. Talking of carnivals and Gay, she's already in the news for the Warrnambool Carnival again, and of course one of the big focuses down there is the car. Well, Rod Smurden won it only once in 15 years has it gone off, but the bookies have got the car to go as fave.
Yeah, $1.80 the car to be won, $2 it doesn't, and there's going to be plenty of punters heading down there expecting some big results over the next week at Warrnambool. And I see you've been crunching the numbers there, Bruce. What, on your assessment, would you be taking the $1.80 the car to be going off?
Well, I'll be taking the $1.80 if you can get $1.80 DK Weir, because I think he's Smurden, Kieran Maher are probably the two who've got.
So you got to win one of the features
and 3 others.
And 3 others. Was it 4 others or 3 others?
3.
So I think they'll get the race. It's just a matter of whether you win one of the features.
Well, I think he win with AXA, win the Warrnambool Cup. He's got 15 runners declared for Tuesday. He's got 19 noms for Wednesday and 16 noms for Thursday. So you'd think there'd be. Kieran Maher's an interesting one. He's got Palmiro running both days. One of the features could go there. And
so Palmiro's in the steeple, isn't he?
Yep.
So you run the first day,
and the last
the
day.
Briley, and then the Grand Angle.
But he's also got 7 and 11 on the other 2 days.
What about the thing that won at Oakbank? It won the Grand Angle?
The song, yeah. Huh. It'll be Brad McLead because Pateman will ride. Have some news on Pateman shortly.
Well, that was good news, yeah. Although I won't butt into your news, but Pateman can ride this.
Well, you just did. Michael Rodd is heading to ride Twilight Royale. Why wouldn't you?
Well, this filly from the Beyond Baker stable has been well publicised. There's a big bonus set for her if she can win the Scone Guineas, and Michael Rodd appears as though he'll be the jockey doing the steering. He'll be coming to Sydney to ride at Hawkesbury for the Guineas, where Peter Snowden will be having a number of runners in his final meeting as head trainer for Darley.
Of course, Team Hawks, they won with Moss Farm Gold Slip a day, and they got beaten with LeBaz and gave Jack McDonald a Group 1 bake after it.
And he'll be getting the chance for redemption on Saturday aboard LeBaz in the Gold Cup at Hawkesbury, which has now been moved from the spring to the standalone program on Saturday. Will be a pretty good field there.
But the form around LeBaz were like Weary, who of course ran it down, come out and ran 3rd in the Doncaster and then 2nd in the All A's.
And probably may have gone a little bit too quick on LeBaz. Like his early sessions were very strong and kept kicking.
Is the Hawkesbury Cup staying there? Because it's moved 48 times in the last 3 years.
We're hoping it can find a nice place there on the standalone meeting this Saturday.
Just going back to on Warrnambool, Javois, who was scratched on the morning of the Great Eastern at Oakbank, is unlikely to be able to get to Warrnambool for Tuesday, Thursday. So that takes out one of Weary's contenders.
But the Warrnambool Carnival, it's going to be a cracker without running in. Like they've split the maiden hurdle into 3. The first 3 races on Tuesday.
Yeah, I know bloke has got runners in there. Thanks for butting in, Richard. And
isn't that my job here?
Chad Schofield is coming on shortly, but Glyn sort of trying to match Junior Boy's record with suspensions.
Yeah, well, that suspension came through late last night after we finished with closing the day on trackside. But Glyn Schofield, 5-meeting suspension for his ride there on Gold Opponent yesterday. Was initially going to take it straight away, but will ride now at Hawkesbury on Saturday and then go for a break.
Okay, that's all the early news. Brent will be back later in the program with some more and a wrap-up of the series. But let's get to Go Indy Go, winner of the Champagne Stakes yesterday, and Chad Schofield to join us.
They're off and racing, and that was an absolutely perfect start. Unknown Destiny began well. Backman was showing speed, and Zulu Land is right up on the speed here just after the start. And now settling down fully into stride, and it's Zulu Land and Unknown Destiny. They're showing out from Kamayon, followed by Lucky Racky moving up around the outside, and Backman's in the centre. Then Scratch Me Lucky, Vervalicious, it's midfield, one off the rail from Go Indigo, Proxy, and Peggy June's back at the tail of the field. They've travelled about 600 metres. Unknown Destiny, the 150 to 1 shot in front. Lead from Zululand running second. Lucky Racky third, a half. Kamayon on the inside. Then Backman and Scratch Me Lucky, followed by Vervalicious tracking them. And then further back we had Proxy, Go Indigo and Peggy Jean at the back of the field. Unknown Destiny 2 in front at the halfway mark. Leads out from Zululand. Kamayon getting a nice run back on the fence. And then Lucky Racky followed by Scratch Me Lucky. Then Backman and Proxy followed by Vervalicious. She's still about 6 off the lead. Peggy Jean's about 8 off the lead last of all, and Go Indigo just up in front of it. Peggy Jean's taking off now. So Unknown Destiny in front from Zululand at the 500. Kamayan waits for a run behind them. Now they're starting to circle here with Lucky Racky, and now on the outside Peggy Jean. Vervalicious has missed a run here. She's in awful trouble now getting into the clear, but giving them a bit of a start. So Zululand, Kamayan got the rails run. Then Unknown Destiny, Peggy Jean down the outside, followed by Go Indigo, and then Vervalicious. Kamayon on the insides in front. Go Indigo is starting to sprout wings down the centre. Go Indigo has moved up on the outside. The South Australian galloper wins it. Beats Zululand or Kamayon in a head bobber.
His first start on March 10. 4 starts later wins a Group 1 during the Sydney Carnival, the Moe and Shandon Champagne Stakes at $7, but heavily back to do so. For Leon McDonald and ridden by Chad Schofield, who joins us this morning. Great result for you, Chad. I suppose a touch of irony there, being a former stable jockey for Lindsay Park. He might have ridden Zululand had it not been for your chance to go freelance, but what a great pick up there and an opportunity for you to stick with this horse.
Yeah, definitely. Very well sourced by my manager to identify the filly after an impressive win in the Adelaide size produce and secure the ride on her for the Champagne yesterday. And no doubt she's a very talented filly on the way up, and she's done it all in one preparation. So no, the future looks bright. Just
take us through that process, because a lot of people out there think, man, why's Chad riding that horse? So I know Mark Van Treat manages you and Ollie and others. How did it all come about?
I'm not too sure.
So you get a phone call from Mark and he says, I think I found one here.
Exactly. Spoke to him after the races, after the size produce, and he asked me if I happened to have seen the race, and I went home and watched her replays, and he said we have the opportunity to ride her in the size produce, and after viewing her 3 runs, I asked Mark if we could secure the ride, and he did, and yeah, we were booked about 2 weeks ago.
Fantastic.
And Mark manages your dad as well?
Correct.
So then your dad rings Mark and says, listen, how come Chad's on this and I'm not? Is that right?
Very possibly.
but look, Chad, you couldn't come up here on Tuesday to ride at work, so Dad, he just filled in for you, didn't he?
Yeah, I was. Leon McDonald asked if I could come gallop her on Tuesday, but with Caulfield races on the Monday, it was just too hard, so Dad filled in for me and educated her quite well, I might add.
What was the level of confidence from the stable going into the race, Chad? Were they pretty confident going into it?
They were. Obviously, her last start was very impressive, but it was a weak race, so you just didn't know how to match up the Adelaide form with the Sydney form. But when I spoke to Leon McDonald before the race, he was full of confidence and told me how good she is, and I was happy to hear that.
Well, you think of the horses that Leon's trained over the years, going back to Umrung and Gold Guru and so on, Southern Spare, of course, the Caulfield Cup winner, and to think that he, after just 4 starts, is saying this is possibly the best he's trained.
I like Leon, and he said just before he came on the camera after the race yesterday, he said, I don't know if I should say it, he said, but I want to say it. He said, I wanted to say it before the race. He said, I think it's the best I've ever had. And then you think to yourself, well, who does our interviews on TVN before the race? Why wouldn't that bloke go and get Leon McDonald? And then we're all on, and then we're all happy.
Who does it? Oh, sorry. Yeah, Chad, take us through the stewards' footage here. We'll have a look at you and take us through from a jockey's perspective when you jump. Of course, you, where are you there? 4 from the outside, 5 from the outside?
Inside Zulu.
Just take us through what the early part of the race was like.
Yeah, look, Leon sort of recommended I be 4th, one off the fence, but had Vuvalicious to my inside and a few others, and felt I was going to be caught deep, so I just elected to come back and let the filly travel and trail Vuvalicious, who I thought was the one to beat. And then they started a slow ride up, and I started to get a bit worried because I was a long way off them and in a slow tempo.
The one bonus you had was the main dangers were around you.
Correct, and I knew Peggy Jean was behind me too, so always travelled well for me. Although the pace was slow, she was relaxed, And
Does Nash surprise you in a minute when he takes off real quickly?
he did. He whipped around very quickly and quite early. So when he came past, I hopped on his back and he gave me a nice trail into the straight.
It shows maturity on your style and from you, in your riding career though, that you didn't get flushed out. You got to think quickly on the spot there, don't you?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, as I said, Nash came very quickly and gave me an opportunity to improve into the race. And when I exposed her up the straight now, she showed a very good turn of foot. And she got a little bit lost when she hit the front. She just wanted to hang in a touch, and that's what I liked because, you know, there's a lot to improve on.
She looks like a big girl, and she should train on to get over a distance as well, Chad.
Certainly. Yeah, she's had 2 runs over the mile now, and she's been impressive. You know, she's by Bernardini, so she's bred to get over a bit further, and she's from the same family as, I think, Southern Speed.
Yeah.
So
Lovely action filly, isn't she? And isn't it a terrible thing when you get lost when you get to the front, you know? I like to get there. Like on the punt, Rich, when you get to the front on the punt, you feel lost.
You get nervous.
Let's hear from Leon McDonald, of course, who was on a flying visit yesterday for another Group 1.
Young Chad was very confident before the race and he rode her accordingly. Gave her a beautiful run, wasn't it great?
It was just a matter, I suppose, whether the form there was going to match up, but one thing she did was relish the mile.
Yeah, she relished the mile and she beat nothing the other day at Morfordville, but it was a track gallop for her.
Now listen, you've had plenty of good horses, and none more recently, I suppose, in Southern Speed. Where does this girl sit with all the champs you've had?
Right at the top. And I've always thought that, and I didn't like to say it before today.
But and now it's only a 2-year-old, therefore I'd imagine you think there's plenty in the tank going forward.
Well, it looks like a typical Oates horse, doesn't she?
Sure does, and well done to Harry Perks, the breeder there, Mill Park Stud, do a great job. And the name Indy comes from one of the kids. He's got 6 kids, and they let the horse in there yesterday, and a great thrill for them. Let's hear from the beaten jocks before we have another chat to Chad, and start off with Stevie Baster around second on Zooland. Tough day for D.A. Hayes, 3 Group 1 seconds yesterday around the country.
Guys ran really well, riding different today obviously, and I just didn't think we could beat Peggy Jean if we went back, so I think he did a really good job. I think he'd be better on top of the ground, so I think the track improving helped him today, but it would have been nice if it was a bit firmer.
He ran well. He settled closer over the mile. Didn't love the ground, so I think in the spring dry ground's going to suit him better.
It was a very good run. We had a great run throughout the race. Run presented at the top of the straight, and he did a great job to finish 4th.
I'm sure it's still very good. Just got to go and tactics questionable, but look, the pace come right out of the race. Actually, was afforded an opportunity to sort of roll up outside the eventual winner and put it in an awkward spot there at one stage, but yeah, my filly just couldn't sustain it, you know.
She just raced flat. I don't think she backed up from last week.
Run really well. Just greenness probably beat him today at this level, but once he learns his straight, it'll be a nice horse. She's probably not quite up to them, but didn't feel 100% late, so you know, hopefully she returns a nice filly later on.
Lovely colt. Just may have gone over the top this prep, but he'd be one to follow in the spring.
She's just struggled on the wet ground, you know, this whole preparation. She's struck one track when it's dry and she's won, so hopefully back in the spring.
It's around the home turn and the St Ledger, a length and a half on More Rewarding, Throw the King, and now Honey Steele's Goal pulls to the outside. It's Order of the Sun in the straight. He's beaten off More Rewarding. Now Honey Steele's Gold and Throw the King are making their runs, and they're well clear of the rest of them, headed by the Terex. But Order of the Sun's gone further in front as he races past the distance. He's 4 lengths in front. Honey Steele's Goal ran to second, and then came Throw the King, but Order of the Sun down from Sydney, down from the top class races, and he romps in, goes all the way and scores by 5 lengths. Honey Steele's Goal 3 lengths in front.
Another one for Gage, one with Hippopus last year, and only 7 lengths, if you don't mind. And must give you a great ride, a horse like that. You know, you're fitting well when you're riding one of Gage, but you know, not a stop-start, front-running type ride.
No, all credit to the horse. I let him bowl at a good tempo over the 2800. He had the blinkers off on Friday, but his run in the Tulloch was very good when he was caught wide, working on a heavy track, so I knew the horse would be very fit and tough, and he was dominant.
Going into the race, Mark, you're probably thinking, I wonder whether it's a substandard race, and these horses aren't mature really enough, and you only get a small lot to go to this race, but geez, it was a dominant win.
Yeah, as Chad rightly pointed out, he'd been racing on a few wet tracks up here, and he mightn't have been up to the top grade, but that might have been a drop in class for him there on
No doubt it was. But
Friday.
well done to Gay for spotting it. I mean,
absolutely. She did it with Hippopus last year.
I mean, this used to be a tremendous race.
Yeah.
You know, like, well, obviously you go back in history and Far Laps and those horses won, but
Within the rules. I don't want him on.
Sing Hannah's goal missed the start by about a length, and Tiger Tease came out well. Atlante probably jumped in front, but Tiger Tease got a little bit more speed now. And then Woodbine followed by Sham Express. Rebel Dane settling just off the speed, and then came in behind them Bonetta, Weary as second last, Hannah's goal at the rear. Out of the chute now, and Atlante took over from Tiger Tease, is going to hand up. So the 3-year-old goes to the front, Atlante from Tiger Tease, Woodbine on the outside, Rebel Dane next, just going a little bit keenly and pushed a bit wide. He's trying to steady back to get a trail, followed by Sham Express. Bonetta's trying to go over in the middle, so he keep Rebel Dane out 3 wide, followed by Weary, who's got the back of the favourite, and last is Hannah's goal. 600 out. Atlante in front. Leads from Woodbine. Tiger Tease is next, and then Rebel Dane fourth on the outside. Bonetta's in the centre. Sham Express on the rail, followed by Weary second last. Hannah's goal at the rear. They start to come towards the home turn. Atlante's rider getting off the fence, and that'll leave a run for Tiger Tease. Woodbine next. Rebel Dane on the outside. Boss is now giving him a slap down the shoulder to chase the leaders, followed by Sham Express. It's Atlante in front from Tiger Tease. Sham Express is coming up along the inside. Then Rebel Dane, Bonetta, and Hannah's goal is starting to jump out of the ground on the outside. Hannah's goal, the Japanese mare, has come from well back, has claimed the lead, and has rocketed down to the line to beat Weary. Tiger Tease third from Sham Express.
Well, she's only been a Group 3 winner in home Japan, but she came out yesterday, lined them all up, gave them all a start, and won impressively, beating Weary and Tiger Tease. It's hard to miss her. I don't think she'd win the parade ring shots there, but the white winkers with the earmuffs.
Well, here's the simple fact of the matter. Tiger Tease and Sham Express can't run 1400. I thought they were both going to win. Rebel Dane didn't back up. Would have been rather to have been ridden cold, but it didn't. Weary's run was good, but just probably wants more than the 1400 after coming back from a tough mile. Hannah's goal was far too good, and the others weren't in the race. Okay. Right, let's move on.
Thank you. No, hang on, I see your interview. Did you?
Look, it probably wasn't a vintage all-age stakes, but nevertheless they walked in the race, and for her to come from where she was and win like that was an outstanding win.
And the bigger picture is whether not getting too far ahead of ourselves with Japanese involvement in the carnival, because the horse was Australian owned, and well done to them for taking up the challenge to come here. But, you know, quarantine's going to be an issue. But she got great publicity on Twitter World afterwards, and the Japanese media were there, and that's going to tell the story over there in good sight. So that's the positive.
And it's all about, you know, seeing the big picture out in front. And look, Championship's done a great job. I know Matt Rudolph from the ATC was, you know, the first to make the contact and try and get Hannah's goal here. So, and then the Championship's run with it after that. So it was great. And look, the first run in Sydney blew the start. Craig Williams said, you can't really even make a claim for that. The Doncaster was a good run, and then bang, gets the prize yesterday.
Well, the good thing was too, Rich, I normally do the post-race trainer interviews. We had a change of bowling this year, and when they said that when you saw Hannah's goal, then up you had shades of Johnny. I
must admit, as soon as it won the race, I went, oh, shit.
Shades of Johnny Letts, Kazuhiro Kato, and thankfully Go Shigemi, who trained in...
Kato?
who trained in Victoria for a long time. Yeah, Go was here with the team with Hannah's goal, and Richie was able to try his fluent Japanese English out on Go, talking to Mr. Kato.
Congratulations, a wonderful effort.
Oh, thank you.
She's a very good mare, obviously, but today, back in trip, and she was just ridden quiet. She's got a beautiful turn of speed.
いや、馬の力を出してくれて、本当ジョッキーに感謝ですね。
He's really appreciated with the, you know, what Nash done. Really happy, very happy.
It's just rewarder too, I suppose. Coming to Australia to win down here, just it adds so much to the Japanese as well.
よくやりましたって、日本人わざわざ遠くから来て。
いや、本当ですね。いや、オーストラリアでいいレースができて、本当にすごい良かったです。ほっとしてます。
He was really happy, you know.
The one thing I do know, although in different language, the one thing I know, we all celebrate the same way because you boys were jumping very high in the air when the mare went over the line.
Yeah. 喜び方がもう各国一緒だなって思って。
そうですね。
Very much so. Well done, congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
It's probably the best she jumped it over. I sort of brought it straight back underneath me. From that wide gate, I didn't want her to get overdoing it early, and I was a little bit concerned that Weary just took me a couple of inches further back than I wanted. Seems to be happening a bit to me lately, but just sort of bit the bullet and stayed on his back, and he gave me a good enough card into the race, and I knew her finish would take care of more than most of these.
Fantastic win, wasn't it?
It was a very good win. Look, she's probably
just adjusted a bit, and I think she's running two of our hardest races. You know, it's not easy to come here from the other side of the world and run in a Doncaster, that's for sure. But today, the small field, she had a few things that suited her, and she just showed her class, and that's what she's got plenty of.
Now, look, I know the Logies are on tonight, and I'd be surprised if Best Sporting Coverage didn't go to that interview. I wonder if we could run it back and just turn the sound down, because I reckon Go Shigemi there, you know, Richie asked the question, oh, you jump very high in the air. I reckon he said, what about that big fella interview? He used to be a jockey.
Let me tell you, the interpreter cheats. There's no doubt he cheats. My question went for 10 words. Yeah. He says 2 words. Yeah. And then the trainer then says, the trainer then talks about another 40 seconds back. And then he just says 3 words back to me.
He's taken it out of you there, Richard.
Yeah.
I reckon he's...
This is when he just says to him, yeah, this big fat fella, he used to be jockey.
He's laughing.
Yeah.
He said elephant jockey.
Hey, yeah, he's up.
That's on YouTube now. Actually, it'd be like that Hitler. Put your own words in. Let's hear from some beaten jockeys who speak English. Tommy Berry.
That was a beautiful run today. He just got beaten by a better horse again. You've got to remember it's only his first preparation. He's a ready-made racehorse for next season.
Very gallant in the feet this guy, and he's going to be a force in Brisbane. Good run, thought we had it at the furlong. Probably just didn't run a strong 1400 in my opinion.
Every possible hope. Presented like the winner, and maybe that run first up took her a bit more out than I think.
She'll be okay. She's just probably a level below the Group 1 horses, but she's honest.
He just was a bit aggressive and worked a bit during the middle stages of the race, and just told on his finishing effort. Blinkers might come off next time. Gay's going to decide on that.
Okay, that's the all-age stakes. So let's we go to Adelaide Group 1 racing there. Yes, unless you've got anything else to butt in about, Rich, there. No, good. Let's go to Adelaide. Let's go to Adelaide yesterday and starting off with the Oaks.
Going up to join it, Girl in Flight starting to join in now, 3 wide. Navajo Run looking for a way clear. Raza Lilla the inside, coming wide in Masquerade, and Star Fashion right to the outside. Quayside burst to the lead. Girl in Flight is after her down the outside. Raza Lilla's back to the inside making ground. So it's Quayside from Raza Lilla. They're charging home. Have a look at this. Star Fashion, May's Dream spotting a gap and out wide. Scratchy Bottom, May's Dream and Quayside. It's going to be May's Dream for the Oaks. May's Dream gets into score.
Well, she's Archie. Well done to Darren Weary's third Group 1. Only three for Weary. They've all been in South Australia. Twice with Platelet, now with May's Dream. Yep.
I wouldn't have tipped that.
16 Group 1s for Brad. Of course, he had 7 of those with... that was a great ride.
What about Quayside gave a kick?
Oh, best ride one. He had to not force the run, but he found the run, made sure he went through it, and she was strong for the line.
Well, he's lucky she's skinny, Bruce.
Yeah.
There's not much of her.
Well, in the autumn, Mark, she was a coat hanger.
Yeah.
And she has furnished into a coat hanger with a shirt on top of it now. And well done to DK. We love him as a trainer, and this is a great result for him in terms of Worrell Dunn, who bred this horse, who passed away during the spring last year. He's been with Darren since he virtually took out a licence in stall. So I know it means a lot to Darren Weir that he was able to win for the Dunn family who were there yesterday. So
Quayside gave a bit of a... it's now with Moody Quayside.
You just said that.
Yeah, but it's with Moody now. Second run for Moody after with David Payne. There was one there I'm just going to find for you.
Where's owned?
That's it. Craig Williams. Ooh. Reckon it nearly should have won.
That's not the What's Doing award, is it?
No, there's What's Doing in Sydney. I forgot about it. I'll give that later. Well, a Rezone should have nearly won the race. You go and watch the replay yet.
I just did. Here's the other Group 1 yesterday. This was the running of the Sporting Bet Classic, and it just runs and runs and runs and keeps on going. Driefontein.
In front of Gregers. Williams has stalked him all the way. Here comes Gregers out after Driefontein. They're 2 lengths clear of Villaverde. And also a time for Julia Driefontein. She's tough. She's digging in. She's a length on Gregers. Running on now. Platelet from the back. It's Driefontein in front. Platelet's going to storm late, but Driefontein's going to do it again. Driefontein wins.
The Star Thoroughbreds and partnership there, Dr. Terry Hodgson, who's the vet on course there at Morpheville, and Gay placing them so beautifully. And Driefontein gets a valuable Group 1 for her. Vlad Jurek, who does a lot of riding for Gay in the Southern States, a 5th Group 1 for him. 2 of those came in Singapore.
Just kept running.
Didn't it?
I think they should have been riding more like that for a long while. She just kept running, but she likes firm tracks, Mark.
She does. Look, they've got some good races for fillies and mares over there through that South Australian Carnival, and it was good for Gay to identify that Driefontein would be suited there, and she's been able to win her last 2 and beat Platelet.
And as Brent told us earlier, back up in the good one. Well, why not? You're there and you're winning. Keep going. Let's go to Brisbane. This was the Snitzelland race. It was Snitzelland v the Booms, Temple and Spirit.
On the bend, 500 metres left to go, and Snitzelland and Temple of Boom and Someday in the middle. They came round the bend together. They're followed by Famous, Seamus, Salts and It's and Fire Up Fifi, and Spirit of Boom is coming to the extreme outside. Snitzelland and Temple of Boom. They led past the 200 metres mark there, 2.5 clear. Spirit of Boom running home, but it's Temple of Boom. Temple of Boom's gone to the lead from Snitzelland and Spirit of Boom. Temple of Boom in front, and it will be Temple of Boom from Spirit of Boom and a boiler.
Well, the dry track Boom beats the wet track Boom. A great result for Tony Gollan and Eureka Stud there. No knock on the win, $41.
See the last 600?
Yeah, they can get that. But that was huge, wasn't it? Temple of Boom.
Oh, no excuses. Tegan Harrison, she just kept working forward. And as I said, the old Snitzelland would have just beaten off it after it did so much work. The second horse was good, but the run of the race was just the winner by 100 yards. What do you think of the winkers on Snitzelland, Mark? They could nearly vote, they're that big.
Looks like Santa Claus.
Yeah, they waved down there.
Well, then to Tegan Harrison as the Brisbane Carnival winds into full boon for the Booms. As we take a...
Sorry, we'll go on. A lot of people were talking about team riding in that race, that horse went up to drive Snitzelland mad, but the sectionals there show you that they walked in the race.
That's right.
That it didn't do that at all.
Which means that Spirits run home in 33 low.
No, then you had the last race in Sydney, which was certainly not team riding.
We'll get to that shortly. As we take a break on that racing review, don't forget Michael Crismale to join us, and also all your emails and thoughts on the carnival.
And if I'm butting in.
Yeah. Another win there for Correggio, trained by Murray Johnson, the man with the hat, and Stevie King, a double for Steve yesterday. Well done to him. Was a complete strip out for the punters there yesterday in Melbourne. Apart from perhaps Girl Guy, but he went there full of confidence, thinking it was going to be a let it ride day. It was off to the blood bank to fill up. Arabian Gold, a lovely ride here by D. Oliver. This is the Frank Packer plate yesterday.
Nursed Arabian Gold going up on the fence, and then Show the World. They turn for home. It's Equator in front from Fade On, and then on the outside now Hooked is starting to run on strongly. Arabian Gold looking for a run down there the inside, and still battling on there is Malice. It's Equator in front from Fade On. Arabian Gold on the inside getting through now, and Hooked wider out with Malice, but Oliver got the rails running. Arabian Gold, the filly, dived through to hit the lead. She's coming away. Arabian Gold the favourite. Salutes beat Fade On and Malice and Hooked, and then Equator.
Pretty emotional result for both David Van Dyke and Nick Moraes. Of course, Might and Power was launched off this race, perhaps to a big race.
As good as she is, I don't know about.
I wasn't comparing the two. They may have worn the same colours, but good to see Nick there yesterday. I know it was a bit of a task for him to get from back to front at Randwick, but he was proud to be there, and well done to David, the job he's done, and Ollie. He might have got put in the fence there.
Yeah, he didn't want to go to the fence, but he had to go. But the one bonus a few of the jockeys were saying about, they thought the fence was probably that little bit inferior to the rest of the track. But if you had a straight wet tracker, they weren't as disadvantaged as horses that couldn't handle it all, because it was just that little bit moist down there on the inside.
I've never heard that word used for a track.
Neither have I, but I'll get to that later with an email. I just thought I'd use it, not on racing anyway.
You're going to start catching up, Bruce.
Arabian Gold, she was just too good. Hook travelled up, Mark, but you know, he just looked like he paddled in the squelchy conditions out in the middle.
Yeah, it was a bit squishy and squashy, wasn't it? Look, he doesn't seem to let down. Like, he travelled up in the Derby, and I heard John Thompson say on the radio that he thinks he's much better on a drier track, but he struck another wet track yesterday. He seems to be travelling okay, but when they let his head go, he just doesn't accelerate in the wet ground.
I know it's easy to say after they ride a winner, but Ollie, another great carnival for him. He's come back in great form, and he's one jockey you'd have riding for your life, wouldn't you, Rich?
Superstar, we know that. Superstar. Okay. One of the best I've ever seen, there's no doubt about that.
He's right on 2 Blue to get home. His strength in photo finishes. Talking of photo finishes, which you didn't enjoy apart from 2 Blues, was this one, Rich, when Estonian Princess got up to win the car.
That'll push Heron Engagement off the track. Northern Glory and Miniature are coming through about 2 and 3 off the rail, although Miniature's just held up for a run briefly. Lady Lakshmi went through on the inside with Northern Glory, who's starting to sprint through. It's Lady Lakshmi and Northern Glory. They're fighting it out from Hera down the outside. Champagne Cath Engagement, Estonian Princess, and Miniature's run out of room. Northern Glory and Lady Lakshmi from Estonian Princess on the outside. Northern Glory's about a neck in front. Estonian Princess lunging. Don't know. Northern Glory, Estonian Princess. And
no, now the wrong one for you, Rich. Estonian Princess, the Schnitzel filly for
It's not about
Brent
me. It's about great sport of thoroughbred racing. And Scotty Ashbury's first city winner, and it was a Group 3 race. Well done to Scotty and Glenn Williams and the team. Well done. They put a lot of money in. I was so excited for them. Absolutely tickled pink. You know who won the race for it? Engagement. They straighten up, and Engagement just ran in 3-4 horses, blocked the stablemate Malice from getting a run, and just opened up like an oyster.
Not many horses get gapped over 2,000 metres and then come back to 1,400 at their next run and win.
No, they don't.
I thought Miniature was a good run. Forget it went round. It got blocked at a vital stage.
The stablemate just came and gave the winner the run.
Lady Lakshmi, good there for Steve Theodore.
Very good.
Touched hardy to get going. Let's have a look
at... I think the top one went good. She'd go to Queensland. She's not a big girl, though, is she?
Hera?
Hera.
Not much of her,
No.
Looked a bit light on.
Hot Schnitzel back in winning form yesterday. Favourite here was Noidart.
Pushed wider, and then came Aeronautical. That's a good idea in front from Hot Schnitzel. Noidart and Emblems are chasing them, and they're still a length and a half away. Hot Schnitzel sprinted to the lead from That's a Good Idea. Noidart trying to wind up out after this leader. It's Hot Schnitzel in front. Noidart 3/4 away. Hot Schnitzel holding Noidart for the moment. Can he get there, Noidart? I doubt that he can. And Hot Schnitzel's going to be too good. Goes on to beat Noidart and Aeronautical, followed by That's a Good Idea.
$60,000 purchase for Triple Crown. They're off to Queensland for another campaign. It's been a beauty from Hot Schnitzel.
Hugh Damon's had success on him, and Noidart, of course, now off to cart the horses for the dairy farmers, the dairy milk chocolate.
That was the old Noidart yesterday.
No doubt in the world. First thing Kieran McAvoy said, he was back to the old... You got to geld him again, or can you take something else off him?
Didn't you ask Craig Swan if you can stick him back on?
Reassignment, isn't it?
Well, you can have a vasectomy reverse, can't you?
It's funny. He just had a let up, and maybe that let up. Maybe during the let up, he was laying on the paddock and he realised, hello, what's that? Hello, and now he's.
I think that winner's had a wind operation, hasn't he, a few seasons ago? He's been a consistent horse all through his career, hasn't he? I remember him winning group races as a 2-year-old in Brisbane.
Doesn't he have a wonderful carnival, G.A. Ryan?
Yeah. And so it's Triple Crown. Are we honest?
Yeah, they
Michael
won the
and Chris
Cyrus with
Ward.
Peggy Jean.
Yeah, they had a great carnival. Obviously, they wanted Peggy Jean yesterday, but they still had a couple of winners over the carnival. They were leading, I suppose you call them syndicators over the carnival.
Yeah, there's a lot of interest in the last race there yesterday. Chris Waller had a squad of 5 in the race, including the favourite, I'm Imposing.
It's been all right out there. And then further back in behind them, Elzora, as they turn for home now, Zephyron just in front. Leads from Vaquera, I'm Imposing. Slow Paces joining in on the outside, and Spillway's running on as well. It's Slow Pace and Spillway out deep on the track. They've kicked away, and it's Spillway now taking the lead from Slow Pace, and then Diametric and Alzora. Spillway's in front over the dying stages, and Spillway comes away, and Spillway wins it from Danchai second, Slow Pace third from Alzora.
Off the paddock import for David Hayes, aiming for a Caulfield Cup. Of course, he's had a couple of these. And Spillway got out the back and probably got into better ground by the end of the day. And
well, they ran along. Look, I'm not even going to make too much comment. The favourite, I thought, was the run of the race, I'm Imposing. He just had no luck whatsoever. There was a few other average rides. The winner got the best ride. Slow Pace, he was coming, he'll improve again with the preparation like Spillway. And I thought Dan Chai was good. Diametrics and Nutter. I don't know, it's a long way from there to a Caulfield Cup.
Has I'm Imposing got up yet, Rich?
Won't wait till Wednesday, they're tipping. Won't wait till Wednesday.
Yeah. Have a look at Devan at the back here in Lloyd Williams colours. This is after a buggled the start, but this is a nice horse to win it, 2 for 2.
In third placing out wider, Alaska, no run, and Nozomi is following it through. Merion is held up as well, and also Lazy Axel is starting to let down, and Duck Dynasty was the wider, and Feels Like Home is the extreme outside. Now Lazy Axel went to the lead ahead of Fella off Duck Dynasty, and out wider on the course then is Feels Like Home. Lazy Axel the leader. Merion's getting through now. Merion's coming home after the leader, grabbed the front, and Merion's got up to win in a blanket go. On the outside, Light up, man.
$200,000 O'Reilly gelding, a hot form race this. Long John won it last year. Over the years, we've seen horses like Serenade Rose.
I think Ambulance won it one year.
Lloyd doesn't have 2-year-olds, Julie, does he?
That's a Zabeel bungled to start. The winner's very good, though. There's a heap of good runs in this race.
Look, it looked a bunch finish, but they still look. There's a lot of quality breeding in this race, and I think that Lloyd Williams runner is certainly one to follow.
Do you mean it looked a bunch finish or it was a bunch finished? Because, like, looked, we can see. That's all. You corrected me earlier, that was all.
Good as gold, no problem.
That horse profile is very much like Long John and Arnold. It's such a perfectly balanced rider.
I said the other day, if I had to bottle up my 3 favourite jockeys of all time, he'd be in there, S. Arnold. Geez, a beautiful balance and just a smooth dude, smooth rider.
Correct. What about this horse for Darren Weir? If you're on Unchained My Heart here watching Dwayne Dunn, he doesn't count the 10 or 15. I don't think it's the 19 before that's a go in Joe O'Neill's colours, the blue with the red for prime. And then 9-year-old part-time jumper, full-time flat horse. What a champ he is for the owners, the Wood boys. Have a look at this. Dwayne Dunn just saunters up on the outside. That's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Might let it go shortly.
Dunn starting to wind up Unchained My Heart. She's got with it about a half a length to the leader. Ancient King is running on. I'm Jake and Unchained My Heart, 100 to go. It's Unchained My Heart putting her head in front. Ancient King and Got to Take Care flying home. They hit the line. A photo. Got to Take Care dived at Unchained My Heart.
Yeah, that's it. He's a 9-year-old. Got to take care. You couldn't put enough on that Unchained My Heart. I know you'd put a lot on it before. During the run, you would have put more on, but goes to the Galleywood on Wednesday. Got to take care. That's how good Weir and the team is. Well, mixing the horses up, and he just keeps grinding at the line, doesn't he? What a beauty. Not too enthused about that, Rich. It's not about you, of course.
He won the race last year, Unchained My Heart, didn't he?
He did.
She did. He did.
She did.
Who did?
Yeah, he did. Well,
there was a few moderate rides in the race that got. Anyway.
And Harry Coffey rode the winner and got suspended yesterday out for 90 rides. The first day of the Warrnambool Carnival, Harry. He's into the top 10 riders in Victoria, in top 10 in Metro, after getting home on to nail Unchained My Heart there on Gotta Take Care. Okay, so we go to a break. This is a promising horse too. This is Kootalum, who won on Friday. But Michael Crismar's coming up to look back on the carnival from an ATC perspective. And that was her.
Talking about Barack Obama, we've got to rein in Putin.
That's it for Race Review for the series. We're taking a bit of a break on Sundays, you beauty. Heading off to the Bull this week, Rich. Looking forward to seeing you down there, and there'll be big TVN coverage with Shane Templeton and Sammy Hyland down there. Thanks, Brent, and to you and Adrian for all the fine work during the Carnival Racing Network, and you'll be seeing Mark Sheehan hosting the program in the new series. Good on you, Mark.
Looking forward to it.
See you there. See you in the spring.
I'm not the producer, but I'm sure it's time for a break.
And more fun right along the rail has won it from Earthquake.
He's a good judge, you know. He wouldn't wrap a Christmas present, but he's wrapped these horses.
Yeah, great.
I think, come on, you see this shirt, see how people think they're on the drink. Don't wear the same shirt. Tell James he went way too early in the chipping door.
Under fantasy, Seamus Award all the way.
So we were hedging our bets whether he wanted to stay freelance or not.
And Fiorente wins the Australian Cup 3/4 degree.
Green Moon.
He shocked me a bit when he did say Davey's going to come down and ride it.
Earthquake racing away to win the diamond.
Right, I just sneezed during that replay and my top button popped off.
And the bottom one.
You know what? The people watching that was the least surprised.
A few of them go out with the spurs on, but I think they're just there for looks. But man, Nash can actually use them.
Lincoln Rupee is clear of Spirit of Boom, and he's flying. Lincoln Rupee, far too good.
Mate of mine's half Irish and half Scottish. Half him wants to get drunk, the other half doesn't want to pay.
He paid for the colours to be made, and
you'll find they'll be on your invoice. We need passion. We don't need drama. No, we don't need blokes with coke bottle glasses just called horses.
I wouldn't go, but that's not a street good pass out.
Maybe she holds up for a little bit longer and wins by a bit further.
We've got there in front of us, Brent, that Hawkspur's not there. Does that mean he's going back to a Doncaster?
You might have seen the rundown, Richie. That is exactly what's happening with Hawkspur.
Right, I haven't even got a rundown.
You're really making these miles yours.
I think next year the gold slipper's going to be over a mile.
I went to the doctors the other day, I said, it hurts when I do this. He said, don't do that.
It's terrible there, doesn't it?
There's 80% of people that don't care one way or the other, so that's where I'm at. I'll give it the arse.
Huey Bayman looks like a V-dub with the doors open.
I just knocked me knee on the desk. This was set a win a long way out yesterday to Stamos. This is goal, but nurse.
Hurt my knee. Hurt my knee. Show the race.